Right guys, and welcome back to another video. So I'm sure you probably know in the previous video I ran 48 miles in 48 hours, and it was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in terms of training. And there was actually a lot I learned from it. So in this video I'm basically just going to chat you through the things I learned from it. I'm going to try and keep the video quite short and to the point. Okay, so the first thing that I actually learned was, and this was a really interesting one, I was actually heavier at the end of it than I was at the start of it after running for 48 miles. So it does go to show you that your weight will fluctuate over a short period of time. Don't be worrying about your body weight. Like if my body weight went up 0.8 kilos in the space of 48 hours after running 48 miles at 50,000 steps each day. Don't be worrying if your weight doesn't go down by loads in a short period of time. That's why you need to take general averages over a longer period of time. The second thing that I actually learned from this was how much food you can consume without feeling that full. Because I was having energy drinks, I was having cereal bars, I was easy to digest foods, and I ate so many calories, and I think I only had 4 proper meals in the 2 days. So that was one thing that was really highlighted to me, how much food and how many calories you can actually eat without eating big meals. So I suppose if anyone was dieting, it would probably be food for thought, pardon the pun. The other thing was the big one when it comes to your training. Like I'd said, the most I'd ever run was like 10, 11k in training sessions. So it kind of highlighted to me that people probably, and maybe including myself, don't actually push themselves hard enough in their training. Where you set this like fake line of how hard you can train, or how far you can run, or how heavy you can lift. Obviously lifting's different because you need to be safe. People don't actually maybe push themselves as hard as they could in their training, rather than actually maybe going in with an open mind going, well, why can't I do that? Why can't I run X amount? Why can't I swim X amount? Why can't I eventually lift X amount? There's no way in my head that I thought I'd be able to run this far. And then once I completed it, I was like, am I setting myself limits in terms of my training? And the last point that I found was that when I was getting tired or when I was getting sore, when I kept pushing through it, it actually didn't get easier. Obviously, if you watch the video, you'll know. But I was fine, I was like, oh, I'm sore, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. But then when I pushed through it, then I was actually grand afterwards. There's often runs where I said at the start runs, I can barely run here. And by the end of the run, I was saying it was the best run yet. So it is just something to think about, that at times, like when you're tired and you're training or whatever, that when you push through it, actually gets easier. And I thought that was a really big takeaway for me personally, that just pushing through it and persevering is a really important thing to do. Right guys, and that brings us to the end of the video. This is a short, concise, to the point video. I hope you learned a lot from it, and I hope you enjoyed the previous video too. If you want more fitness content like this, just subscribe to the channel.